Our first guest tonight is an Oscar winner and my fellow Brooklynite who missed out on a lot of candy to be with us tonight. Her new movie with Peter Dinklage and Anne Hathaway is called She Came to Me. You can see it on demand starting November 10th. Please welcome Marisa Tomei. Because this is like a costume, but also a real outfit, right?
Yeah, but it's a costume.
But it's a costume?
Yeah.
It
Do you
is.
see the little ovaries?
Is that what that
Yes. Can you see that?
It's actually educational.
Yes.
You remember, we grew up really close to each other.
Yes.
We grew up, I think like a mile and a half from each other. And do you remember Slim Goodbody, the guy who would come to the school? Did he come to your school? Slim Goodbody was kind of like a pre-Richard Simmons Richard Simmons. He was a skinny guy with an afro, and he had a suit that was flesh-colored, and then you could see all the organs were drawn on the suit.
So this is I see where you're going.
Reminded me of Slim Goodbody, yeah.
No, I did not take this idea from Slim Goodbody.
What was Brooklyn like trick-or-treating when you were a kid? Do you remember that experience? Because it's different, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exciting, right? The neighborhood, I guess we lived on a dead end, which made it extra spooky, actually.
Really?
Yeah. But it was probably just the usual. I mean, look, my mom used to make my costumes, actually.
Always,
So
right?
Yeah, that was really, really nice.
Unless, did you ever have the store-bought costume in the box with the plastic mask and the rubber band that breaks, almost immediately?
No, my brother had that, but I had the goods.
In those days, I remember, if you got something, for me, my mom made me a vampire cape, so that meant I was a vampire for the next 5 years. Every Halloween, that was my costume,
Yes,
right?
it's true. It was recycled.
Right.
Yes.
And tell me if you remember this. When would you trick or treat on Halloween?
Like dusk.
Dusk.
But be home.
Okay.
Yeah, dusk-ish. Yeah, dusk.
For us, we would go, I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know, but we would go right after school. We would go trick-or-treating.
Oh, yeah. I was a latchkey kid, so we didn't,
Oh, you didn't have it?
Yeah, we didn't have that, but yes.
And then when we moved to Las Vegas, when I was 9 years old, my sister and I went right after school trick-or-treating. The people are like, what are you doing? We don't even have candy yet. Come back later. And we had to
Came home empty-handed, that's it.
I think it's because of the weather, probably, is what it is. But I wonder if kids are still trick-or-treating right after school
Right
now.
after school? I don't know. I mean, it was dusk. It was kind of scary. It was nice.
Do you get trick-or-treaters at your house?
Well, I live in an apartment, so yeah.
So are there any kids living in the apartment that come around?
No,
Nothing, huh?
We got a lot of old people. Me.
None of the old people come knocking looking for hard lemon
Swedish
candy?
fish.
Full of Werther's Originals or something like that?
Cough drops.
Yeah, I remember Halloween being like a fun thing in Brooklyn, and then in Vegas, I don't know, maybe I just got a little older and I wasn't that into it.
You weren't into it. Well, I can see. I mean, you didn't. I dressed up. You didn't
I'm no
put any
fun at
elbow
all.
into it tonight.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I will, if it makes you feel any better, you are now in a long line of women I've disappointed. So it's not just you. What was your favorite candy? What was the prize item?
Maybe like a Twizzlers, Red Vines. I liked those.
Nice.
What did you like? What did you like? Oh,
Gum.
wasn't there one like banana? Gum.
Gum, yeah.
Gum, like a basic? What are you talking about?
Gum. I love gum. I still, to this day, will pick all the gum out of my kids' baskets and claim it for myself. Double bubble.
Okay.
Bazooka.
It doesn't feel like holiday festive.
That's how I celebrate.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the gum. I don't like Twizzlers. To me, it's like eating a toy. I do not eat Twizzlers or licorice.
What about candy corn?
Candy corn? Everyone hates candy corn. I like it.
Okay.
I like candy corn. I like circus peanuts, the two most reviled candies I enjoy.
So you're not fighting with anybody over what's in that jack-o'-lantern.
I guess not, yeah.
You're getting the leftovers, that's it, just right over you.
Yeah, maybe I'm non-confrontational is why I like the candies that nobody else wants. You don't love gum, though, in the thing?
No, I don't love gum in the thing. I mean, I guess Swedish fish. That would be like very hoity-toity.
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
like a Swedish fish or something.
But that's not gum.
No, it ain't gum.
And when we were kids, Swedish fish did not come prepackaged when we were kids, right?
No, it was just floating out
was
there
like-
with everything else.
Yeah,
in the dirty
it came in a
hands.
paper bag at the candy store.
No, but when you put your hands in, though, it was like into the jack-o'-lantern. It was just all
It would be
dirty.
cleaner eating an actual fish
Yeah.
than the Swedish fish, yeah. And the Swedish fish also had lint on them all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we always have to like parse it out from the whole. Did you have that rumor? Razor blades. That was very scary.
I know it was, and it turned out and still I think people are fearful of razor blades in the candy. I think that happened once in 1972.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
never happens, and it makes sense because you go like, oh my God, I gotta, check the candy, and of course you should check the candy. What the hell? But your neighbors, it's not like they're renting the house for that night. Like they live, you can find them pretty easily.
Is that why you're stuck with gum, though? You're like, it's
Probably
safe.
so. Gum is the safest one. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about your movie with Peter Dinklage. Marisa Tomei is here with us. The movie is called She Came to Me. We'll be right back.
What do you do?
I operate a tugboat.
You operate a tugboat.
You thought they just putted around by themselves?
Oh, no, I wasn't expecting that. Wow. Where do you live?
On the boat. Based in Baton Rouge at the moment, but I'm everywhere.
That is Peter Dinklage and Marisa Tomei, and She Came to Me. You really do play a tugboat captain.
Yes, I do.
When you got the script, you're like, oh, am I going to play another tugboat captain?
Such typecasting.
Is that something like when you get a call or however this comes to you?
Yeah.
You go like, yeah, they want you to play a tugboat captain. You're immediately like, yes, I think that sounds fun.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
It is exactly like that.
Because you probably don't get pitched that type of
No,
role
when
much.
am I going to get the chance to drive a tugboat on the East River in New York?
Yeah, and
for reals.
Did you go train? Did you like get into it and experience the life of a tugboat captain?
Well, in a miniature form. Yeah, I slept on the boat for about a week and stayed with the crew, ate with the crew.
Did you?
Got to
A
move the
week?
bar, got to move things around.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have went on to that. Can I tell you?
Trust me.
This is why I don't.
It
This
happened.
is one of the reasons why I don't have an Academy Award. I wouldn't even go on. I would just look at a picture. I'd be like, yeah, I got it. That's a tugboat. Yeah. You feel like you could operate a tugboat now?
No.
In a pinch? No, not at all.
In a pinch. I mean, it's not with the big. I was hoping it'd be the big wheel, but that's a thing of the past. It's a joystick now.
Is it
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, so it's almost like a gaming thing. So you're doing it with a joystick.
So
Yeah.
disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little less romantic.
Yeah, right. And were you with other tugboat captains?
Yes, I was with Captain Dean on this, yes, Dean Dion. And he showed me the ropes, and I slept in the captain's berth. He gave it up for me, so I could
Nice.
sleep there for a while. And we shot in that berth, too.
Oh, really?
I get together with that.
Oh,
with
your
Peter.
love scene
Yeah.
with Peter that's actually in, that wasn't like...
On that actual tug, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Tiny, about, twice the size of this desk, that little room.
Yeah, it's like an apartment in New York, basically. Yeah. And wow, and did you get seasick? Was that something that you had to deal with?
I didn't get seasick, no, actually. I liked it. I took to it easier than I thought that I
Really?
would, actually.
Like this tugboat lifestyle could work for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And the tugboat people themselves, they must have been very excited to have you aboard.
Well, maybe it was in their hair a little bit, I guess. I mean, but I hope they liked it.
Did they have tugboat stories to share with you?
Yeah, I mean, there were people. It's a really interesting life. People who just don't. They want to live a free life. Most of the people who don't want to live any convention, or people who've been in prison, or people who have they want to find another way. The wide open sea is really the last frontier, really.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And yet, even though they're out having freedom on the wide open sea, they're still always tugging a boat behind them.
Wherever you go, there you are.
I could really move around if I didn't have this boat to tug.
A little bit of baggage.
You are also, I know, an executive producer on a documentary.
Yeah, the Lakota Nation versus the United States.
The Lakota Nation versus the United States. What's the
Yeah.
story there?
Yeah, well, it's my friend Jesse Shortbull brought it to me, and it's about the title is taken from the Supreme Court case where the Lakota brought it to the Supreme Court, and they actually won that the United States had broken their treaties, and they've been fighting. That's right, yeah. To get back their sacred lands that in the Dakotas.
Now, isn't that a spoiler alert that they won?
Well, kind of not, because it still goes on, even they won.
Right,
They're still in the battle.
Well, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming. Happy Halloween. Thank you for sharing your Halloween with us. Guillermo, get some Twizzlers. Make sure Marisa has them.
I will put her in a dress.
Very good. Thank you. She Came to Me is on demand starting November 10th, and Lakota Nation versus United States is available everywhere you rent movies and on AMC Plus too. Marisa Tomei, everybody. We'll be back with